So, as I was walking this morning, I was gifted with another realization, and that is that communication really is the key. Whether we're failing to communicate with other people and speaking our truth, or whether we're failing to communicate and speak our truth to ourselves. So this came about because I enjoy listening to audiobooks. I like listening to an audiobook whilst I'm doing something else, whether that's knitting or crocheting or watercolours. But I realised that I was listening to an audiobook that I've already heard before. And the first time around, I was listening to the storyline. And the second time around, I was acutely aware of the interaction between the characters. And what really struck me was that I wasn't focused on the storyline at all. In effect, I knew what was going to happen. But I was really aware of the interaction between the characters, and the fact that so many of the mishaps and the pain and the stress and things that were affecting each of them was because they weren't actually communicating with each other. They weren't telling each other what was going on in their lives. They weren't telling each other, how they were feeling. And that in itself was creating the backstory in the other person's mind as to what was going on. And I've seen this in my life so many times, in my childhood and growing up in early adulthood. You hold so much in and possibly don't even own to yourself, how you're feeling, what's going on for you. And you definitely don't communicate that with the people around you. And they're doing exactly the same thing, because this is how we've been trained. We've not been trained to communicate our feelings, our thoughts freely. Even to ourselves, we've not been trained to own how we think and feel to ourselves. And so the other people are doing the same thing. And we create these backstories in our minds as to, what's going on, why are they responding or reacting to me in this way? Why has this situation occurred and things, and we kind of start making things up, basically. And all of the stress, or a lot of the stress and a lot of the pain, is self-inflicted, because it's all based on these backstories that we've created, which most of the time aren't true. And I found this with my relationship with my partner, in my most recent partner, in that I did start not just making these assumptions, creating these backstories, but actually asking what was going on for them, and really kind of trying to get them to honestly explain to me how they were thinking, how they were feeling. And actually it has no resemblance whatsoever with the backstory that I'd been making up in my head, and resolved whatever was going on really, really quickly. So this is something that basically Spirit is guiding us to really explore, allowing ourselves to speak our truth, acknowledging to ourselves how we think and how we feel about certain things, and sometimes that does involve going into the shadows of ourselves, because it may be that we're too scared, or we don't want to touch on certain subjects or topics, or even acknowledge certain thoughts or feelings that we have about ourselves. But one of the first things about becoming enlightened, ascending, whatever it is that you want to call it, growing spiritually, becoming empowered and standing in your sovereignty, is knowing where you are now. If we don't know where we're starting from, then the journey towards standing in our power, standing in our sovereignty, becomes all the harder. We kind of have to know where our starting point is without any judgment whatsoever. It is what it is, and we are where we are. And wherever we are has been perfect. And the journey that's led us to this point has been perfect. Often our message, that which we're here to share with the world and to support others, is in our mess. And so, we exist in this polarized world. We exist in this landscape of duality. where there is right, wrong, good, bad, the two ends of the spectrum, as it were. And so quite often our journey of growth is to experience that which isn't in alignment, that which we don't want, to find out that which is and that which we do, and to make those changes, those incremental changes along the way to get there. So we have to know where we are to start off. Any journey, you have to know where you're starting from. So if you don't know your location at this moment in time, then allow yourself to have those conversations with yourself. Allow yourself to own and acknowledge fully where you are now, without any judgment. There's no judgment on it at all. So that was the message that came through. And the other thing that just wants to be shared is acknowledging that as we change, as we develop and grow and become more in alignment with our truth, as we actually learn our truth, and that was a big part of my journey, is hitting that point of not actually knowing who I truly was, because I'd been everything that everybody else wanted me to be. And when we start changing, when we start taking action in alignment with our truth, when we start speaking our truth, then it can impact those around us and those that are sharing the journey with us. So that's something to be aware of. But allowing yourself to be aware of something is one thing. Changing what you're doing because somebody else is responding, reacting badly because of it, is entirely another. That is what we've been trained all our lives to do, to compromise ourselves for the sake of other people. But this journey of sovereignty, this journey of standing in your power, it means allowing yourself to be you and allowing others to be who they are, but not actually changing and adapting yourself to suit another's needs or requirements. Is being okay with being you and them, and being okay with them being them. We are each of us on our own journeys, and the only responsibility that we have is for ourselves and our own journey, and everybody else. One key thing is everybody is a divine sovereign being, and it's disrespectful for another person and another person's journey to say, I don't think you're strong enough to kind of take or manage or to deal with me as I change and as I grow. So just, allowing yourself to make those changes, acknowledging that dynamics of relationships may very well change. Some people will change with you, grow with you, and other people may respond in a different way and gradually move away. And that's okay. That's another perfect part of the journey. That's another perfect part of theirs and yours. We don't all come together forever, but we do come together for reasons, and there's lots of lessons and blessings in the interactions with other people. And it's allowing ourselves to have that awareness, to enjoy them, but not to be completely attached to them. The interactions with other people are a joyous moment. It's something to be celebrated, whatever the interaction is, and to take from it whatever is in alignment with your growth and your highest and greatest good. But they're not an eternal thing. On a soul level, yes, of course, but from a physical perspective, we are like ships passing each other in the shipping lane. We come together, we come close together, we may even journey together for a while, and then ultimately we take our own path. So I hope that serves you well. Have a wonderful rest of your day. It's now stopped raining and the sun's come out, which is beautiful. And again, this too shall pass. Had a really lovely rainstorm, and then the sun came out. So many blessings. Enjoy your day, and I shall see you again soon. Take care. Bye.